It wasn't a God thing.
That wasn't a God thing.
Tell me something else that we haven't talked about.
I had a scandal. Was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Can you talk about
Wasn't married.
details? You want to just leave
you
it?
could Google it. I was David when I should have been on the battlefield. And she said, "What you doing?" I said, "Just driving around. Summer night. I don't feel like working." Went over our house. 9 months later, she had a child. Man, I messed my first church up. I just was looking to go belong. The National Baptist guys had ousted me.
How did all of what you were doing, where'd you see the leak? Where'd you see the pain? Where'd you see, now looking back, I shouldn't have done that? How did it show up in your life?
Oh, I lost my marriage. If I had have known what I know now, that my marriage was more important than any of this, that my kids, I missed many recitals, or I was coming in at the end with the flowers and my daughter thought I was there the whole time. I missed so many things. Building a fellowship, helping build a fellowship. I missed so many things. Building churches. And if I had to do it over again, what was really important was family. You said, how did I get here? Consistency. The Lord spoke to me and said, it's over. I didn't want to be like Pat Robinson. Learn to walk away and not die in it.
There's a whole demographic of Black preachers that have not been wise and stewarded their funds or are legitimized by their pulpits that won't walk away. You know what? There's this new trend that's happening. We're starting to hear more and more about it. You still be married and be in two different homes. I don't know what happened.
That we could live in separate homes.
Uh-huh.
I could.
Welcome to another episode of Legacy Conversations. I am your host, Jasper Williams III. Man, I'm having so much fun having and conducting these conversations. I feel like there's a big sense of purpose that I'm walking in. And I have with me on today, I'm not going to call him Bishop Greg Davis, but I do have Greg Davis, the one, the only Greg Davis. What's up, man?
Man, I made it to Legacy Conversations.
You literally did.
I've been, yeah.
You literally.
Yeah, it's good to be here in the midst of everything that's going on personally in my life, but it's good to be, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I called you personally and said that,
Yes,
not to get on the show.
You did.
But because you got the it factor, like this is amazing, and the conversations. You had my bishop on here, Bishop Morton.
I sure did.
And he was very candid.
He was, and he blessed the people.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk church. Man, you don't realize how much that means to me. You know, I've gone through some iterations. You know, I've been in senior leadership, gosh, for about 30, 35 years. Was with Dad for about 10. As the number 2 man, then Alicia and I started the church. Church turned 20 in 2026. Not sure when somebody will see this. And so for the longest time, I had that run for being senior leadership in a church. And then God started doing some stuff and we made the transition out. We're non-traditional pastors. I was embracing and still embrace my mental health journey. Want to see people set free with that and be a blessing. And now this podcast space. So what you just said to me is huge. And even for that it factor. But I want to go back and go ahead.
I think since we're here, I think we've done a disservice to many gifts in the church, the African-American church, because we've pinned people into typecasting them into thinking that they have to pastor,
You're so
senior
right.
pastor. African-American church. If you don't have a church, you're considered not, I don't care if you don't have but 20 people. In other churches, they have evangelists. For years, I traveled this country like 250 times a year preaching, sometimes 300, with my own meetings, traveling with a team of 8 people. You know where I got that from? I didn't get it from our church. I watched Kenneth Copeland and all those guys. And I said, if they can do it and survive, and I did it, but I invested back in my ministry so that I could be that evangelist. And I tried to pastor, and I found out that just wasn't me. I could start the churches and they would grow, and then something would happen. My ex-wife said to me, she said, about a year ago, she said, boy, you know you wasn't never no pastor. You set vision and we carried it out. And then you moved on to the next thing. Now, if we were in the Pentecostal church, apostolic or another sect, we would call that an apostle. But I never changed my title because I honor my bishop, Bishop Morton, who made me a bishop 30-something years ago. And I found out that I wasn't a senior pastor. I was more of a planner. I planted many churches, and I should have let them go. And now I'm walking in freedom.
Put a pin there. I want to come back to the word apostle. But I cannot go past this moment and thank you for what you had to come here through. You mentioned you got a whole bunch, and not that it was planned, it was unplanned. And you have yet made an investment in me and in these kinds of conversations for them to matter. You told me, you said, man, I love you. And this is clear. You do. And I want you to hear me say, thank you. I think the first time it couldn't happen, or we had you here, some happened, but you told me for this time, you said, I'm not going to cancel.
I made a big investment of time, but I believe in you. And I think because I've been here, I hosted 16 years of Christian television, and I know what it is for people to cancel. I know what it is for people that have already done what you're doing to not show up. So not that I'm just all that, but I know what it is. And we don't have, my pastor, Pastor Solomon Ken, like he always said, we don't have anything but each other. And if we don't push each other, then what we're going to do? So this is an investment in what you're doing. And I've been here, so I know what it is for guests to tell you they coming.
I want to know how to get to where you are. And
I don't know where I'm at.
We can.
Where I'm at.
You're a seasoned vet. You know, your voice, the way you think.
I don't think I've gotten there yet.
Tap in. Yeah, but you further down the road.
Yeah.
You are further down the road. I feel like I'm supposed to be sitting here. And when you say I got the it factor, it takes somebody that has the it factor to recognize.
You're comfortable in what you're doing. You're not. It's not a. I mean, we didn't even talk about what we're talking about now. There's no cue cards. There's no, you're not looking at anything. I've watched people that wanted the cameras, and they would come to the Word Network or Impact or wherever I was hosting at the time, and they would sit in the green room, and they would just talk. I try to prep them, or they were into taking selfies and just the whole, nothing wrong with that. But they never sat down for a minute before and said, okay, let me get myself together. And those people, when they got on the set, when that camera came on, they went blank. Because either you have it or you don't. And I know in the first few minutes sitting down talking to somebody which way I need to go. Oh, this is gonna be, I'm gonna have to carry this conversation. I'm gonna have to, and they want it so bad. And it's usually the ones that want it so bad and would say they want it. And then the ones that never wanted it, never thought they would be sitting where you're sitting, those are the ones.
This is all God stuff, and I do want to get to this apostle piece and so many other things that you've mentioned, but I wasn't looking for this. That's when it happens. And I want to say to those that are watching, younger preachers and all that, that's when you said, how did I get here? Consistency. I am probably the most consistent person. Consistency this is my saying, consistency breeds longevity. Longevity breeds legacy. So if you're consistent, you have longevity. And after longevity, you're building legacy. These conversations will be here when we're gone. You're right.
That's legacy. We think of giving our kids money. I have two of my kids who are in this business now and doing well. My son has a podcast. I don't like all the language that's used on it, but that's his lane. My daughter is an influencer and also works for a big company as their editor-in-chief. And so they're in the business. I didn't ask them. They just watched. So you're taking this extension of your dad to another level. This is conversations he would never have. Or, man, the thing you did with him was just mind-blowing. I watched that 2 or 3 times. Wow. And so I'm taking my grandfather, who was the one that planted me, was a pastor, to another level. We've probably seen more people from doing things like this than they saw. I know I did on Word.
Of course.
Millions each week, each day. My grandfather saw 300-400. I saw hundreds of thousands in one setting. So that's the legacy. We're carrying on. So you're in a new space.
I have touched more people for these 18 shows that I've done. We don't take breaks. It's every Thursday. I've touched more people in that time than first I ever would have thought, but probably more than I ever have. When in the dad interview, I was saying something like granddaddy was regional, that tri-state area. Dad was national. Mm-hmm. And some may have even said that what I said was arrogant, but I said I'm global.
You are global.
But that was even before a podcast was even considered.
Yeah. Well, you were speaking it, because that's what I did. For years, I watched TBN, Before Word, Inspirational Network, and I saw myself on the canvas of my imagination. Mm-hmm. I was watching Paul and Jan, but I saw myself in the future until it happened. Mm-hmm. And so you are global. This is global. Anybody can chime in from anywhere and watch this. You don't know who's
gave me an
watching.
idea. Or maybe we should do a live legacy conversation where people can chime in.
And you should.
Thank you for that.
And you should, where you can see it. I know Katie can put it up somewhere on here.
All this. Yes, it is. It is indeed.
It can roll. You can see it. Yeah.
Would you have, when you were consecrated to office as bishop, would you have, during that time in your life, were you embracing the whole apostolic anointing space? And would you have worn Apostle Greg Davis, that title, that name?
No, I'm not a title person.
No, bishop.
I know that's because I'm honored that Bishop Paul Morton bestowed that on me in a movement that changed a generation.
Yes.
I just was looking to go belong. The National Baptist guys had ousted me. My name of my church was Second Unity Full Gospel Baptist Church. And I looked up and Bishop Paul Morton was getting consecrated to bishop. I said, that's where I belong. Made the call. He was on BET those days. Made the call. His secretary, Floretta Grant, answered the phone. She said, I'm sorry, he's not doing any more crusades. Oh, where are you from? I said, Detroit. He said, he hasn't been invited there. And he came to me.
Then let's just cross the bridge.
Yeah, Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. 32 years ago, September 11th, changed my life. He came. I'm always extra. So I had a luncheon, 80 pastors, 200 pastors that night when he preached. Immediately asked me to be the first overseer. He said, Bishop Larry Trotter just called me as I got off the plane and accepted to be the number 12th. He said, but I have something called overseer. A year later, November, a year and some months, I became the first state bishop. And the rest is history. Changed my life. But if I had to do over again, I probably wouldn't.
You would not.
I got married.
Let me tell you, the only reason I believe you saying that is because the camera's on. That's the only reason I believe
I say it all the time.
If we had just, I don't know that I would have believed that.
I say it all the time. No, I wouldn't have said it on the camera if I wasn't free.
That's my point.
So here's the thing. I had just gotten married March of 90. What was it, 90? 91. Mm-hmm. November, I got called to a church. The next year, we moved to a bigger building, from a building that seated 75 to 800. And then comes Full Gospel not 2 years later. First of all, we didn't have enough time to really get to know each other marriage-wise. Here I'm taking her into pastoring with me because she was a missionary at her church. So she became my co-pastor eventually. Then I joined Full Gospel. All this in 2 years.
Jeez.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It messed me up. And then I became the state overseer within a year. It's too much. It was a wonderful ride. It got me where I'm at. I would still be somewhere. I don't know if I'd be here because everything was connected to Full Gospel. But man, I messed my first church up.
That was going to be my question.
I put them in debt.
That was going to be my question. How did all of what you were doing, where'd you see the leak? Where'd you see the pain? Where'd you see now, looking back, I shouldn't have done that? How did it show up in your life, even in a personal sense?
I didn't take time. Oh, I lost my marriage because we went into all that. She was just as much into, my ex-wife, Bishop Kim Davis, she's still in our organization, just was consecrated in Full Gospel, deserving. We're great friends. People don't believe that, but you don't have to fall out. She still pastors the 2 churches that we pastored together. The leak was our marriage. Yeah, that was the collateral damage.
And that's usually where it starts.
Yeah, and we were bold enough to say that we had nothing else but all of that. We didn't have the love, the great love affair, all that. It got so bad, Bishop Morton made her my assistant in Full Gospel. So we had offices next to each other at home. She was my co-pastor. She was everything. We did everything. And then when word happened, she didn't want TV. That's where it went downhill and then I got a church in Delaware. Meanwhile, I made her the pastor of the church in Pennsylvania. We were used to doing everything together. Church in Delaware was exploding.
Is that the church you said that you went to from 75 to 800?
No,
that was
the first one. No, okay. I went from a building. I said the building was 75 to 800. We only had about 150 members. The church in Delaware, years later, we went from 200 members in less than a year to about 700, 800 people in Wilmington, Delaware. Tabernacle.
It was a totally different church, looked and felt so differently then. I think it was on the way to being different. I just think COVID sped it up when we look at church today. And we look at, even this conversation, we've talked about the audience that it is that we reach, just with a microphone and, a light and a camera. Everybody becomes a news anchor. And instead of churches growing, I think followers.
Well, we found out during COVID that the musicians and all those, they wasn't as important as somebody with a camera.
Shoot, yes.
Video.
Shoot,
because you had to keep your church going. But I want to, if I could go back,
please,
to the piece of how I lost my marriage, because there may be somebody watching, and it's moving fast for you. It's moving fast for you, and slow it down, because if I had have known what I know now, that my marriage was more important than any of this, that my kids. I missed many recitals, or I was coming in at the end with the flowers and my daughter thought I was there the whole time. I missed so many things. Building a fellowship, helping build a fellowship. I missed so many things. Building churches. And if I had to do over again, what was really important was family. I even taught my kids that the church was the family business.
Ooh.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
It's God's business. They was walking around talking about this is family business. No, it's not. It's not. It's God's business. And our business is our home. And I messed that up. If I was to give myself a grade as a father, I was a provider. But I wasn't present. There's a difference. Jasper, we use this thing. I'm doing it for us.
Yeah. That's what Dad would say.
I'm doing it. This is for us.
So do you believe you talk yourself into that? Like to believe that you're doing it for us? Like, was that the masquerading lie just so you could continue to
No, I
do
let
for us?
others talk me into that.
So hearing that same voice or the same...
Not saying it, but I watched them. I'm going to keep the names in. I'm going to protect the names, but I watched and we mimicked. See, mentors and leaders are not just good for the good part, but you should also learn what not to do. And sometimes we love them so much that we mimic them and everything is not right. My grandfather, who was a traditional Baptist preacher, the Reverend Dr. Ananias Davis, told me, he said, you're going to see some things that I hid you from. My grandfather he probably was the sanctified Baptist. He was their home. They were married 60-something years.
Sanctified Baptist.
Yeah, he was always home. No, seriously, he was always home. We knew where he was. He loved my grandmother. I saw an example. I don't know what happened to me, but I saw an example.
That's funny. I was,
Yeah, I don't know what happened to me.
Yeah.
My father's blood is in me. Still that's another conversation. But when I left Detroit, I saw a lot of things. I've seen a whole lot. And for the average person that wasn't strong, they wouldn't mess them up.
Does it scare you how people can be duplicitous in their life? In other words, those, and I understand you're protecting names, but I've seen the same stuff. Traveling with Dad. Dad would let me travel with him as long as I was not in school. Dad was really big on education. And as long as I was not in school, I'd go wherever he went. And some of the things I saw, I began to think it was normal. But the older I got, the more I realized it's not biblical.
Do you believe there's peer pressure in the body, in the church?
Of course. Yeah, and one of the
that
ways
if you're not doing certain things, then you...
Yeah, so in one of the ways...
Come on, everybody's doing it.
Yes.
Come on, everybody's doing it.
Yes, exactly. And an invitation to join.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, when did that flip? Like, when did you start seeing church ministry differently? Let me say
when I went behind the veil.
You have your own look. There's no Greg Davis. I'm like, what outfit could I wear to match his energy? Well, let me keep rolling. Behind the veil.
I get talked about for looking like this, but I'm free. I don't, I know how to still be, I know how to follow etiquette. If I'm going, I have to preside over a funeral, I'm gonna have my black suit on.
Sure.
And I know how to do that. But outside of that, I'm not pressured. I'm not, there's no pressure. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to impress anybody at this point in my life. I'm 63 years old. I'm not trying to impress anybody. And this is not me having a midlife crisis. This is not me lost my mind. A lot of guys say he doing that relationship stuff. Nah, it's ministry. This is all ministry. And I sat down one time in Atlanta at a place here during COVID, and the guy said, "Hey, OG, how we get to where you at?" And if I was sitting there looking like the bishop, they probably would have never said anything to me. I don't even know what I had on that day. And I said the same thing I said to you, consistency. Consistency. So I'm comfortable in being me. And there's so many people that are trying to be what the system has said we need to be. I'm no more a bishop with a collar, a chain, and a ring. I have to look for that when it's time to wear it, because it's not, I see young guys come up to me, 19, 20, "Hey, Doc." No, that was my grandfather. That's not me. That's the language of another generation. And they're missing their generation while a 63-year-old man
is reaching
the generation. My stats say I go from 20 to 55 years old on all of my social media. While they're talking about, "Hey, Doc," I'm grabbing your generation. They're asking me questions because you're not reaching your own generation. And that's sad.
Yeah, it's
Dear
very
young
sad.
preacher, I used to do that.
Sad.
reach your generation.
Say that again, one more time. Here.
Dear young preacher, reach your generation. Go after your generation. Learn the language. You got the King James language. Now learn this language so you can reach this generation so that they won't be lost.
I was talking to Jamal one time, and he said he does not like to be called Doc.
No, I don't either.
And you know what? Now I'm thinking about it.
He has a real one.
I think that's why a lot of people hold it loosely, like even yourself. I think that the words can confine you.
They can.
The titles and so forth. And you're right. I think I heard you say he has an earned doctorate. Yeah. You say he got a real one.
So here's the thing. Now on my social media, I still use Bishop Greg Davis on every, and there's a strategy behind that because I don't want them to think that this is my grandfather's church. I can still talk about relationship. I can still talk about love bombing. I can still talk about when the right one comes. I can still talk about all this and still be Bishop Greg Davis. Mm. So Reverend Ron is the one actually that, you remember when Ron had the reality show?
Yep.
He really started all that we could embrace a preacher that was relevant. Mm. I want to be relevant. We say stuff in church, but we don't really know what it means. To serve this present generation, my calling to fulfill. Mm-hmm. Do we really know what that means? This right here, this is the generation we're supposed to be in. My grandfather couldn't have operated an iPhone.
I saw you struggling early.
I wasn't struggling. You tried to make me think you were struggling.
You trying to find that
if there's anything, I actually work from these phones. I don't even work from my computer half the time. You're just trying to shame me because I'm more up on it than you are.
I'm messing with you.
No,
but my consistency gonna kick in.
Yeah, come on. Your wife gonna teach you all this. She's fly one.
You know what?
I think everybody should have a podcast.
There's an explosion that's happening in the space. And I've always wanted to do this. And it wasn't until I mentioned about that earlier. I want to go back, reach your present age, going to finish. Because
that's why I say everybody should have a podcast because, go ahead, finish.
Now, I was going to say that people don't hear this. People look at this as being an outlier. They look at you as being an outlier.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're right. And I agree. I mean, people think that I should be in the pastorate. And I do
realize I have posts that are hitting 1 million on a regular basis.
I believe it.
On my social media.
I believe it.
While they're saying I'm an outlier, you need to try to be an outlier with me then, because I'm reaching more people just in one post on a regular basis.
With a cell phone. Yeah.
With a cell phone or my little DJI camera. Mm-hmm. And let's go back to, we all over the place, but it's good.
I love it.
Here's where most people missed it. There was a transition during COVID. Mm-hmm. Okay? Church is not the way it used to be. It's in studios. All right? A lot of churches that can afford to have podcast studios. It's in conversations. All right? A lot of people missed it because it was easy. Me and Jamal said this to each other during COVID. We were able to navigate the space of media because we were already on television. Mm-hmm. All right. I did Word Network from my red couch. My red couch is famous at my place because I did there. But then there was something that went off on me because I had started When the Right One Comes when I first divorced.
Tell us what that is.
When the Right One Comes,
yes.
It's my relationship ministry.
Okay.
I did a post one day on Twitter 15 years ago. I said, in order to find the right one, you have to become the right one. Mm-hmm. People loved it. I kept posting. But during COVID, I wrote 4 books on relationship. I started a Clubhouse room, which is an app where thousands of people would come in. I did podcasts. I did a men's show with John Terrius Tate and Carlton Lynch and other preachers across the country. When the Right One Comes, the men's edition, every Monday, thousands would watch. So my relationship ministry was birthed, and it is a ministry. Mm-hmm. It is to serve others. That's what ministry means. So when you call me, this is where I was going with this. When you call me and say, Doc, get me in a church to preach, you know what I tell them now?
What?
No, I can't get you. I said, go live. Mm-hmm. If you really got a ministry, not go on the street corner. Go live on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Go live on YouTube. Let's see what you got. Because now, and you know I'm telling the truth, now when you say, I want you to have so-and-so on your podcast, or I want so-and-so to preach for you, what's the first thing they're doing? Doc, you got a clip of him? Let me see him.
Exactly right. That was one of the first things I had to work on when we transitioned ministry and we moved out of a Sunday morning building or Sunday morning motto and moved out of a building. I wish I had known what I was going to do because we had to scratch and scrape for clips that I would want to represent me on any digital space.
Yeah.
And, I had to kind of build up that repertoire. I got plenty of clips now.
You got plenty of clips now.
Got plenty of clips now.
And people see, and if you really got a ministry, is this my camera? If you really got a ministry, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, get on something and go live. But you want instant gratification and it's not going to happen. You have to build. I remember when I first started going on, it'd be a few people liking my stuff, but it's in the consistency. Mm-hmm. It's no more hook me up at your dad's church. Yep. It's no more hook. Hey, can you get my pastor? Can you get your pastor? I want to come to try. Can you get Bishop Morton? No, go live. Make full proof of your ministry. This is where we at now. Make full proof of your ministry here.
I think that could be an hour of repetition. Go live, because I think that people look at people like yourself and all these other folk, these influencers, as not only successful, but are being paid. And what I'm hearing you say is that your consistency on top of your consistency.
I just started getting nice checks from social media.
Paid is paid, and praise
I'm just
God.
saying, because of my consistency, I wasn't getting nothing. Now I am. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but I was consistent in this space. You want it immediately, like okay, you go preach for somebody. You're not gonna get no. You ain't gonna immediately get a Jasper Williams offering, honorarium. I'm talking about your daddy.
You can put the third on this. I knew you were talking about me. You were clear.
Or Bishop Paul Morton.
They've been consistent.
They've been consistent. Bishop Morton, when he was here, I'm sure he told you, he get more invites now than he did when he was not 75.
I saw him on Atlanta Live on one of Jasmine's clip with them singing. And I'm thinking, Atlanta Live is not known anymore as being Atlanta Live.
I remember, yeah.
But I was thinking, Bishop's heart is
absolutely
at his age.
Absolutely,
it's almost like
he's not Bishop Paul Morton.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But most guys, I ain't doing that. I had a guy call me. He said, Bishop, what should I ask for when they ask me to come preach? I say, who's asking you? He said, I'm just getting ready. I said, well, if you're not in demand, you can't demand nothing. Mm-hmm. You have to be in demand. Mm-hmm. You talking about how honored you. I'm honored that you asking me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I remember I invited Bishop Andrew Merritt in Detroit. Mm-hmm. He's the one that you saw Bishop Jakes preaching at early on in the big church. I had them, those 7,500 members. Mm-hmm. But my conferences would always be 800-900 people. But I had to sit there on Sunday with a few people.
Sure.
And I said, I didn't think you would come to me. He said, I'm a preacher. Why wouldn't I come? So we have this misnomer that people, you talked about Bishop, being on a show that's not really as popular as it used to be in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But this is what we do. Mm-hmm. You have not because you ask not. Don't get it twisted. Yes, I'm Bishop Greg Davis, whatever that means. But this is a platform. Mm-hmm. So we're both getting something from it. So let's stop acting like we so great. We come on these platforms because it helps us. People can't come on your show because it helps them too. It keeps them relevant. So let's stop acting like we're doing you a favor.
God, dog. You just done blessed me. and even I
got on the plane because of our relationship, but don't get me wrong, your show is doing great. So let's stop that. We got to stop all this. I'm free.
Actually, I'm starting to get people that DM me asking if they can come on.
I'm sure.
And I want more. I mean, I'm getting folk that aren't preachers. I mean, that some are in the gospel industry, some aren't in there. And I think for the exact same reason, I just like the way you said it, that they know that it's something in it for them as well.
People begin to trust consistency.
That's good. That's
when
good.
they see you that you're not going to stop and this is not fly by night, then they want in. All right? They see numbers. They see, oh man, and let's not play. All right? Your name carries weight.
That's why I started. I had a Rolodex.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's part of it. But that only lasts so long. You know what I'm saying? Because if the product is not good, okay, how great the name is. If the product is not good, oh, he's a clown. This is how we talk. Yeah, that's his son, but he a clown. You know, I ain't going on there. But you're having meaningful conversations.
Let me tell you something.
You can take any of this out too if you're embarrassed.
Ain't nothing coming out. Ain't nothing coming out. I'm not trying to be no behind kisser. I don't want to ask you for nothing. None of those kinds of things. But it's like people look for dad to say you can preach. Like, you got it. You can do it. When you called me and said, I know I'm here again. My point is. People
tell me that all the time. Here's their famous thing. Coming from you, that means a lot.
That's what I was, yes.
And I don't know what that means. And
because you've been consistent. Now, I don't know if you skipped past or didn't hear what I said.
I'm 63. I start crying easy, so don't do that.
Okay, let me try to make you cry. Let me tell you, I'm a crybaby. Ever since I got free of some stuff and the work that I've done in private and through therapy, I cry quick. My family knows. All right, Dad about to get it. But what I said is that you've been consistent on top of consistent. Because it wasn't your life in the media that did it. You've been consistent prior. And I am saying, for you to say what you said, not only does it mean a lot, but it is encouraging for me to continue to be consistent, to sit right here in this spot and ask people to come and talk. Like you have chosen your niche. You talk to the young person. You go reach your spot. So I'm saying to you, that meant a lot to me. When it comes down to people that have said something that really matter, that has really mattered, next to my wife, that has to be at the top of the list.
Thank you. And that means a lot to me because I was sharing before we came on, I'm just be transparent. I feel after 16 years of television, and there are a lot of prophets and preachers that have said to me, or will say in a public setting, my first TV was with Bishop Davis. But there's so many that I have forgotten. And sometimes I feel underappreciated. And that, you know, I used to hear Bobby Jones say that. And I understand because I walked away from Word after 16 years. I started at TCT. Shout out to TCT. That was who Bishop George Brooks was on the board there. I just wanted a little television show. And Garth Coons, who's went on to be with the Lord, asked me to have my own show. Kevin Adele saw me on Word, came and grabbed me. That's how I got to Word. Then I left Word for me to help Impact get started. I've been on every major network it is, but now I'm not.
You like now or then?
Huh?
Do you like now or then?
It's no comparison. I like both.
Yeah.
Because I'm back on TV. Most people don't know I'm back on Fox Soul, which is a secular network by Fox with my relationship stuff. I've been on for about 3 months. But
congratulations.
Thank you.
Didn't know that.
But here's the thing. When I stopped being on that platform, it didn't stop my influence. Those that still know, they still call me. But there are those that think that was all I had. My pastor says to me all the time, Pastor Kenlock, he says, if people would talk to you, some of these young preachers think because it would go back to what we started with, because I don't have a church, then I don't have I don't have the goods to
legitimacy.
Yeah,
You're
but not
legitimized.
even to talk to them about pastoring.
Yeah.
Who better than somebody that done started churches, pastored church, got put out? That same church I was telling you about in Delaware, that lady put me out. She going on to be with the Lord.
Hold on. Who was the lady?
Bishop Aretha Martin. She gave me the church, stood up in the church and said, "Oh my God, look at this. I dreamed of this. I was going to get people off the streets. We was feeding. We was having my conference there, 7 days of glory there, boom, boom, boom." She said, "The Lord let me live to see people in the balcony." And not 5-6 months later, did a coup on me and said, "I want the church back.
Why
I don't like the type of people that you bring it in here."
She didn't like the people.
The type of people.
That's
the type of people.
Okay, got you. And that's why what'd you do afterwards?
Started the River of Life Church that Bishop Kim is still pastoring. We took 250 people.
Why did you leave Word Network?
Time was up. I didn't want to be like Pat
Did you hear
Robertson.
God in that?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. It might not be too obvious for people. I look back on it and see it.
Obviously, when we say the blessing of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow.
Yes.
If you say something is of God, it will produce. It will bear fruit.
I agree.
I ain't missed the meal. I picked up millions of followers. I'm on Legacy Conversations.
Hallelujah.
So I left because I actually heard God. After the pandemic, I literally was drained from helping carry the network every day, praying for pastors, making calls saying, can you do, we're going to give you the time. Can you just fill in this spot? You know what I'm saying? Because people wasn't doing their stuff. They reruns. So we would have people go live from their Skype and all that stuff. So myself and Dave Sheffield, who was the general manager there, we were filling programming in addition to doing my show every day on my red couch.
Man.
It was draining. And then When the Right One Comes was taken off.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord spoke to me and said, it's over. I didn't want to be like Pat Robinson.
Ooh.
Get in my 90s and say, welcome to Greg Davis Live. Oh, we on the air now. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Learn to walk away and not die in it.
That there's a whole demographic.
Walk away from it.
There's a whole demographic of Black preachers that have not been wise and stewarded their funds or are legitimized by their pulpits that won't walk away.
Yeah.
Me and my wife got raked over the coals. Sometimes it was in our face, and other times it was told to us later because we walked away. We walked away from something that that's why I left Salem. There were no issues with me and Dad. I love my father. No scandal going on. I heard God say.
Because it's unheard of. You got to have a scandal. You got to die. You got that. Why is it that the Black church does that, but the other church, they'll build a $50 million facility and get up one morning crying and say, the Lord told me and nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They just move on.
Both times was when I left Salem, I neither have missed a meal.
That's what I'm saying.
When I left, when we stopped.
Did they call you crazy?
Shoot, yeah. Rudy McKissick.
Call the names. Call them out.
I am, because he made it public.
Rudy, we calling you out.
Matter of fact, I'm going to tell him when he comes. So they were giving us our anniversary, and Janice, now Anderson, she had people sending little video testimonies and so forth. And Rudy was there. And he sent a video. And he said, third, let's face it. We all thought you were crazy. Mm-hmm. But clearly, you heard God.
I had a friend of mine say to me, they say you didn't lost your mind because you're doing this relationship stuff. Is your friend okay? This was 5 years ago. Now them same people, I see them having relationship messages, series, and everything.
Tell me some of the things that you've done that you regret? And tell me some of the places that you found yourself in that you regret.
Some of the things that I said probably if I had to do again, I probably wouldn't have joined Full Gospel when I probably wouldn't have became a bishop 30-something years ago because I wasn't ready.
Yep.
All right. No matter how, I could have still did the work.
Sure.
I got consecrated because I traveled around the country helping Bishop consecrate the 12. He saw my faithfulness. I probably would have not been in partnership with my wife in ministry so heavy. Even though she's a preacher par excellence, but I probably would have stewarded it differently. I would have made my family more of a priority.
Okay.
I wouldn't have traveled so much, even though it was a blessing. I probably wouldn't have moved from Detroit. Bishop Morton moved me to Louisiana. I probably would have stayed in Detroit.
Why?
The church was doing amazing.
Okay.
We were the it church in the 90s, the up and coming it church. I was 30-something years old. We had major conferences. It was growing. Even my pastor, Pastor Ken, like he said, man, I remember I was a teenager and y'all, you might have would have been trying if you'd have kept going. But you know why I left Detroit?
Why?
Because I saw J.D. Wiley do it. I'm going to be honest. I've never said this before. You know J.D. Wiley?
Yes.
Bishop Morton moved him from Detroit and moved him to New Orleans and he on the West Bank. I said, I want to do that. It wasn't
a God thing.
That wasn't a God thing.
Tell me something else that we haven't talked about.
I had a scandal. Okay. Some years ago. Was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All right. Can you talk about give us details? You want to just leave?
You could Google it.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. I'm sure people will after you say it.
Single. And was seeing a young lady. I was David when I should have been on the battlefield. I'm driving around downtown Detroit. Usually never go over to anybody's house. This is how the enemy, never go over anybody's house. I want to say again, I was single. Usually never go over anybody's house. And she said, what you doing? I said, just driving around, summer night, I don't feel like working. Went over our house. 9 months later, she had a child. A year and a half into it, the baby died. A true David story. The baby died and nobody knew about it. I was taking care of the baby, cash apping money every week. No one knew about it. I told nobody. When the baby died, she releases an announcement. On behalf of me and Bishop Greg Davis, pray for us, our child died. That's how it got out. Larry Reed picked it up. It was all over the place. And I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I did like American Gangster. I broke my pattern.
You wore the chinchilla.
I wore the chinchilla. Yeah. And Shane, Bishop Morton, set me down at big old 50-something years old. I sat down for my duties in Full Gospel. Shane had to face my kids, my ex-wife. She came to the rescue, called a conference call, Zoom call with my kids. They crying. They like, my baby is what broke it. She's like, Daddy, you were there for me when I went to live with a boy after I graduated from college. You don't think I would have been there for you? My other daughter, you were there when we went through this. My son, you was there when I almost lost my mind. You was there, boom. They broke me down. And then my ex-wife says, now let's pray for her. We on there boo-hooing. And they all said, don't do this again. There's nothing you couldn't do that you can't talk to us about. We done talk to you about all hours.
Jeez. You know, I hear in that consistency.
Yeah.
You've been consistent with your family.
Yeah.
Showing up for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Not always in the way that I wanted to.
Yeah, I get it.
But when they needed me most, sure. I'm not gonna sit there and pay myself. I have a son now who is still upset over years ago, but there's nothing I can do. I tell my kids now, I can't make up for what I didn't do, but I can be who I am now.
How'd you get, so you talked about what happened. You talk about Bishop Morton sitting you down. Where was your mental space there then? For some, it would have drove them crazy.
It didn't. You know what my you're not gonna believe this. Everybody heals differently. I got to keep working.
Mm-hmm. That was your medicine.
I went live that night. It happened on a Valentine's morning of all days. I went live and ministered that night. That's how I get through.
This is after the press release has been.
Yes.
And you go on that night.
Yes.
How'd the body of Christ treat you?
You want to know the truth?
Yeah, I wouldn't ask it if I didn't.
Some of them called, some of my friends say, oh, we glad to know that he like women because we don't know. We don't never see him with anybody. We glad to know he ain't gay. Because here's the reality of the church.
That's funny.
You want the reality of the church?
Yeah.
If they don't see you with somebody, then you're gay. If they do see you with a lot of people, you're a hoe.
Top man.
So if you do, and if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk the real talk. Mm-hmm. If they don't see you with nobody, he must be gay. Mm-hmm. If they see you with a lot of women, you're a hoe. So what are you supposed to do?
Mm-hmm. Be you?
Yeah, and my private life is very private. Even where I live, you can't even get to me because if I can't have anything else that's private, I want where I live to be private. Mm-hmm. And so everything else about me is public. Mm-hmm. I've shifted from Word Network to you the man with the videos. Keep telling us how to, keep telling the women, The brother stopped me too. I said, y'all ain't mad at me? No, you telling the truth, man. So work helped me get through it. Different people have different things. But work helps me survive. Even my singleness.
How long do you think, so work is just, I guess you set the precedent when you start talking about getting married, a church, full gospel, that's work.
Yeah.
So how do you relax?
Miami. Miami is my favorite place in the world. I'm there every month. Miami.
Yeah.
Water. Driving, riding, the beach, around the water. I have a bicycle, regular,
So I remember, didn't you used to, when you were maintaining your weight?
Still do, 5 miles a day. Walking. Now, I don't run as much because I don't want to mess up my knees.
Do you still exercise?
Yes. I say I'm 90% vegan because I eat fish maybe once or twice a week. Mm-hmm. But I haven't had beef or pork in 15 years.
Wow.
Chicken in about 3 or 4, or turkey. Mm-hmm. Everything is, I'll do fish here and there.
Do you feel, and we'll wrap this up, do you feel any shift that God's about to do in your life?
I do. I think the expansion of When the Right One Comes, my brand for that, I do. I feel that shift. Even this right here, I do. I feel a big shift coming. I feel like I'm on the verge of something new when I should be sitting down somewhere, as people say. I think a body in rest stays in rest. Mm-hmm. Body in motion, the commercial stays in motion. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to be consistent. Just keep doing what I did. The Fox Soul television show, all that. You know what my final thing I want to do? I want to go back to where I started. I want to go back to radio.
I didn't know that's where you started.
I started in radio.
Yeah.
I started
that should be easy for you though.
In Detroit, I started in radio.
Or
I want to syndicate it. You remember Michael Baisden?
I do.
He had the relationship show.
He had us, me and my wife, both on a cruise. Yep.
Yeah. So I want to do a Christian show like that. Talk about relationship, take calls, and play our music. That's the next big thing. So if you're listening out there, that's what I want to do. I want to syndicate a radio show doing that.
I want to go back to one thing, and this won't leave me alone. And maybe it'll be a piece that you can help. But when you start talking to the young preacher, I saw a gentleman in a green suit reaching for something that was on a table. He stayed there in a frozen position, a still position. And then I see another gentleman in a red suit reaching towards the table, but not as deep. And I don't know if that's, for some you see adding, great, but I don't know. I feel like there is this young man, couple young men, I think it's who they represent, that needs everything you've just said. And it's like their spirits called them to show up. This is the Lord unveiling and continuing. Mm-hmm. Their spirits showed up before your statements to them did. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for what you shared, your deposit, and even your legacy. What I'm seeing is that legacy comes in all different colors. And there's only one Greg Davis. We all know that. But there's only one Greg Davis that could do what you've done, make the shifts, have the success, and still want more, still continue because of the purpose that is on the inside of you. And may I bless your legacy. Father, I just thank you. I thank you for what has been set in front of us. And Father, I think that more has been said to the audience's spirits than the amount of words spoken. I pray for that generation, not just men, but women, ladies that have a desire to go further and get out of the box that they have been put in. And I thank you that what Greg Davis has said, is saying, and will say will be an image, a picture that we all can look at, glean from, even model. I bless his mind. I bless his family, his work, his call, his vision. And I say thank you for him. In Jesus' name. As you make the transitions, it had to be some letting go, some moving forward. How'd you do it?
It was fear too.
Fear. You know, I was going to ask you earlier, were you scared at any time? And
of course, anybody that say they're not fear of something new, that means it's not going to be great.
Yep.
You always have fear. Let's not play that game. God didn't give us the spirit of fear. He didn't, but we still have. He didn't give it to us. No, the scripture said God did not give us.
Yes.
It don't mean that we don't get it. You know what I mean? It don't come from him.
Practical point. Good exposition.
It don't come. Spoken like Jasper Williams III. No. So there is to let go of the word network. Literally, the last time word was on the air live was pandemic. It had just started. I couldn't even bring my guests in the studio. The studio was left just like it was. We were out of there. And so now I'm going from Bishop Greg Davis can put people on and all that to now I'm going into talking about relationships. Mm-hmm. The bishop? Yeah. It was fear, but I had to, in order to reach to something else, you have to let that's why we don't even know her name. Lot's wife?
Lot's wife.
Miss Lot.
Miss Lot.
She couldn't let go.
Oh, man.
She couldn't with God saying,
leave.
I'm getting ready to take you out of this and take you away.
What can I throw it?
I'm still a preacher now, no matter what. That's what people don't know. I still preach.
We know. I know.
Day.
I see. I keep seeing you walk on chairs. So I know that.
I'm saying on the platforms, but she couldn't let go. Her one assignment was not to look back.
Dog. Oof.
And she got iced in her footsteps.
Oof.
Because somebody's watching right now.
So good.
If God said do it, you're going to be free today because you got two men that's free. You got examples.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife, they let go. They walked away. They walked away. I walked away. I don't even condone this, but the most liberal, and people think me and my ex-wife is crazy. I'm not trying to tell anybody, but be free. Stop being with people and you ain't happy, you cheating and you doing all kind of other stuff. Just be free. This is the time for us to be free and walk in our truth. If you are not a pastor, if you are feeling suffocated in doing what you're doing, you're feeling suffocated in being in something you shouldn't be in, it's fear. It's going to be fearful. How you going to make it? You can look at both of us. Well, I'm a little smaller. We ain't suffering. I promise you. God will fund whatever he is giving. Where there is vision, there is provision.
When you go with God.
Come on now. When you go with God. Seriously.
Yeah.
You sitting there. Hit us up. We'll talk to you.
Of course.
We'll tell you I have a book called How I Lost My Way. We'll tell you how we did it. There's really no blueprint. You just need to hear the voice of God. You're going to be miserable sitting there doing something you're not. There's nothing that I've ever done that I didn't enjoy. I'm not going to do it if I don't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I'm not. It's because it seems like work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't worked whatever secular mean for the man. I haven't worked since 90 for anybody.
So
anybody.
Even all the TV stuff, that was...
Never got paid. Never wanted to get paid.
Never got paid.
Never got paid. I got paid at Impact for a little while. I didn't want to get paid. If you can't sit on TV almost 7 days a week and make your own way, then something wrong with you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
With all the influence I had, I was the only black man that was on consistently every week. When I started TCT and Word Network, remember, TBN was doing Clifton Davis and Zachary every Thursday was Black Night. Now we got a man that is able to invite people on every day because I went from a weekly to every day. So you got to step away. God is not going to give you money for something that you haven't given him a reason to give it to you for. He funds vision. He don't just fund idea. He funds when you step out. You know, that old saying was right that my granddaddy and your daddy say, if you make one step,
he'll make.
Yeah. Or let me say it like they say it now. When you move, he move. When?
Just like that.
So go ahead.
I want to punctuate something that you've said. You said God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. I get all that. You were afraid. It was fear when you were making your move.
Of the new.
Yes. The only thing I would punctuate it with, it comes from my life. The first move, the first big move, and I did it scared, was leaving Salem because I heard God. Mm-hmm. Only reason. Mm-hmm. When we got ready to make the second move, the fear wasn't there as much.
Because you had track record. When David killed Goliath,
he had been.
Yeah, so he wasn't afraid of nobody.
Yep.
They I don't know how true it is. You're a scholar. He walked around with the head, as
he
proof.
Had to cut it off,
to show if I can kill Goliath. So if you could walk away from Salem, I walked away from my grandfather's church. That's the man that planted me. I always say Ananias Davis planted me, Bishop Morton watered me, and God gave the increase. I'm the man that I am because of those two people. You're right. Once you do it, then you're like, oh. But there's still always a little
and I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah, no. I know.
Yes.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great point because that supposedly was, since we're talking about that legacy, that's your daddy. He's a great man. What is everybody gonna say? Let me ask you, did you feel, was there the fear of what people were gonna say, but was there also a fear of you're walking out of what he had prepared for you, your father?
It was more the latter. Me and Dad were thick. Let me cross both. We were thick as thieves. Whenever you saw me, you're going to see him. There was nothing he didn't trust me with. Name on the accounts, single signers. Man, me and Dad, we rocked hard. And it hurt me to my core when I left. Hurt me to my core.
That you were disappointing him?
That it wasn't going to turn out the way we both wanted. And because I could see Dad was hurt. And when Dad gets hurt, I'm going to say it, you get hurt.
Yeah.
And then watch this. Who walks away from Jasper Williams?
Right.
So, yes.
My grandfather wasn't known like that nationally. He was known in the city as the old man. I went to his house. I said, Bishop Morton. Now, he fighting me about full gospel, right? Came to my installation, did it. Ain't no full gospel. What have we been doing? Half gospel?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the thing. But then when I went to tell him I was leaving Detroit, ain't no man ever left his country to go be with no other man. I said, Abraham did. Well, you ain't Abraham. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
That's what I knew.
The place in him.
Yeah. So here's what I decided. He will always be my grandfather. He will always have that place of honor. I took care of him until he died at 92 years old. Then succeeded him for about a year in Detroit at his church. I was doing 3 churches, 3 different states. And the thing that hurt leaving more was what you said. Leaving my grandfather, the man that planted me. My mother was a prostitute. I grew up in New York. My daddy came and got me and said, let him live with my parents, which happened to be Reverend Ananias Davis. I had never been to church in my life. Reverend Ike was the only preacher I ever heard in New York. My mother was a call girl. My stepfather was Sam of Sam and Dave. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on. You know the song? I'm a soul man. You know I'm a soul man?
I'm a soul man. Yep.
That's Sam and Dave.
Okay.
All right?
And your uncle?
No, that was my mother's common law husband in New York. He raised me until I was 9.
All right.
Until he lost his career because he was shooting up. I saw them do heroin and cocaine. So my grandfather was the one that led me to the Lord. But now I'm saying I'm leaving. So I'm bringing this full circle. Here we go. Somebody's watching us. Your only hold is a person. Who's going to have the bigger voice in your life? The person or God? You're listening to him say he left his daddy.
Yep.
You're listening to me say I left my grandfather. Jesus said, who is my mother? Who is my father? He that do the will. So if you're sitting there looking at us, I know this is a podcast and all that, but if you say we still who we are, don't miss your exit. Don't miss your exit. Don't miss your exit. I told a young preacher, sometimes we miss our exits and then you have to come all the way back around. You know, you get on that turnpike, you go some miles, you miss your exit.
Hey, look, man, it's like when you're preaching, don't miss your exit.
Oh, God.
Listen.
Bring it in, Doc.
Well, I mean, I'm learning, going to get off the exit. You may not say it all. There's just some moments that don't come back around again.
Oh, yeah. You got to
you.
go with it when you go with God. You got to go with God. If they up, why you want to take that chance that they're going to get up again?
Yep.
Don't miss your exit.
Yep, good stuff. You said something, I've been holding this question in my head for a second. And we, like you said, we've been all over the place. You get a divorce. Now you and, if I'm right, you and Pastor Kim are pretty close.
So, let me tell you how close we are.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go.
Let me say.
You know, that's the interviewer in me. I'd be taking it. Go ahead. I gotta learn how to be interviewed. Go ahead.
Let me tell you. What did that do? I mean, did you know the marriage was over? Did you ever reconsider the marriage? Was there ever any reconciliation talked about? Because I'm sitting here thinking you're doing all this. You're doing it with her. You're starting a church, full gospel. You're traveling.
We were in a conference. Liston Page preached that night. 7 Days of Glory, church packed, overflows everywhere. I don't know if we was on Live Word that night. Preachers from all over the country. I still got the picture of that. Liston was preaching, like only that, yeah.
Yeah, he can preach.
And she's crying. Like just boo-hooing. It's a different cry because she's a worshiper. And I'm like, we at the altar, I'm holding her up. And that night, 3:00 in the morning, we in the hotel.
Y'all still married?
We were still married.
Okay.
Yeah. This is when it was going downhill though. So I'm traveling to Detroit. This is my schedule. I'm going the kind of long way. Sunday, I'm in Delaware preaching. Get on a plane Sunday evening to go to my grandfather's church. He's gone. He's deceased. He made me the interim pastor. They end up calling me to the church. So she's doing Pennsylvania. I'm the bishop over there. I'm the pastor in Delaware. And I'm doing my grandfather's church. Get on a plane, go do Sunday night service in Detroit at his church. All right. I come back home, do Bible class on Tuesday in Delaware. Get back on the plane, do Bible class Wednesday in Detroit. Prep for my show for Friday night, Rejoice in the Word. This every week. I come home on Saturday. We have a place in Delaware, an apartment in Delaware, the big house in Pennsylvania. I have a loft in Detroit. Nobody never know where I'm at. She does. I start going to Delaware. We try to eat, sit down and eat on Saturday. We have nothing to talk about but ministry. How the kids doing? Boom, boom. We gone. We been gone. All right? We been gone. That night of the conference, she wakes up at 3:00 in the morning. If you don't want me, just tell me. If you don't want me, just tell me.
Whoa.
I'm like, what? Sybil has entered the room.
Whoa.
We're at the Sheraton Hotel, downtown Delaware. I said, what do you mean? You don't even talk to me? I said, we don't talk to each other. It's over. It been over. People don't just get to divorce. It's a process.
Yeah.
They don't talk to each other. They just shuffle through rooms. Like I would go to Delaware every weekend to get ready for the service. Harley was going to our home. All right. Micah, my baby girl, she's the only one there. She's in the 10th grade. Finally, we have the conversation. It's done. So we got to 2 churches. We decided we're going to tell Micah first. I go to the house. We sit her on the couch. She sits between us. Me and your daddy getting a divorce. I'm sorry. She cries for a little bit. My child is just like me. My birthday is the 8th of June. Hers is the 4th. Y'all figure that out. I said, you still going with me to Delaware? Yeah. She gets in the car. She said, we still going shopping? Now, we just done told her.
Yeah, we getting a divorce.
Yeah. That Sunday.
Yeah.
This is where I want to get to. I get up and tell the first church. So, if the first church knows.
Everybody else.
The second church going to know by the time we get there.
Including the city.
So we're telling the first church, the river. And she says, can I say something? I'm like, oh, Lord. She said, I don't want nobody to talk about him. I don't want anybody to bash him because Gregory Michael Davis Sr. is still my hero. We will say nothing else about this.
Wow.
We won't talk about it. We're going to continue to lead y'all.
Wow.
She said that in both churches. We have been friends up until now. He just passed. He sings, I'm on the battlefield. So he was preaching one night and I showed up in Delaware, right? Just surprised him. And him and his wife left out of there. And his wife called the next day, called Bishop Kim and said, are you and Bishop still together? She said, no. Because we got in the car and we was like, what is that? The way she get up there talking about him like that. That's natural. Her boyfriend, who's in full gospel, came to me and asked permission.
Respect.
Out of respect. Bishop Morton thought we was crazy. Talking about, I'm so glad I'm retired. He asked permission. Great guy. We've been in full gospel since day one. It's real. We're friends even now. When I went through my thing, told you, she prayed for me. When I start back seeing somebody and all that, she said, well, they can pray for you now because they're a prayer warrior. After that was over with, she said, I guess that's it.
Wow.
And before you ask me, we ain't been sexual. We don't spin the block. We don't do none of that.
That's not what I was going to ask you.
We don't.
But it's not
We
what I was
don't
about
kiss.
to ask
We don't do none of that.
I was going to say, you got somebody now.
Do I have somebody now?
Yeah.
I'm single.
Okay.
I'm single as a dollar bill.
When you said,
I am. I've been single for 3 years.
When you had, okay, all right.
I've been single for 3 years. I'm the person that comes in my life now has to accept all that comes with me. Yeah. I'm not willing to compromise. I'm a workaholic. I love what I do.
That's hard.
I want to be bothered when I want to be bothered. Yeah. And I don't know who's going to put up with that.
Bothered. Wow.
No, I said bothered.
I know you did.
Yeah. If I don't want, I'm serious.
Listen, I have seen what I've always seen.
Thirdum, I'm serious.
Almost. You almost got it. Thirdum.
I overemphasize too much. He cuts it off.
It's THIRDON.
Oh, okay.
That's what he calls it. Everybody else is thirdum. Thirdum.
Thirdum.
Yeah. You know what? There's this new trend that's happening. We're starting to hear more and more about it. You still be married and be in two different homes.
Keke Palmer just went viral about that.
Well, I don't know what happened.
I did videos on it. That we could live in separate homes.
Uh-huh.
I could.
Do you think that would save a marriage?
I think so. I had a lady between Facebook and Instagram. I do street interviews, right?
Okay. She said
they've been married 38 years and they live separate homes. They still see each other. They have conjugal visits. In case y'all don't know what that means, they still have sex. She said that's what works for them.
Do they have girlfriends and boyfriends?
No. It's really? Just them.
So they're remaining monogamous and in covenant.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could live, and I know, when she went viral, Mike Freeman was in my comments. Pastor Mike Freeman, he was like, "That Bishop, that ain't a God." Now we ain't gonna talk about some things in the Bible that we don't even talk about.
Yeah.
Polygamy didn't just start now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We gonna go on.
Hey, ask Abraham.
I don't want to mess up your show.
Ask Abraham.
we Solomon and all of them. Anyway, but what I'm saying is I could where I'm at in my life now. Someone that's younger, I could.
But I mean, if that should be easier for a woman to hear, or the next one that's up, okay, I can't accept that. Now I can't do this, and this. Let him be.
I'm not a cheater, so
let him be busy. Have to worry about that. Let him work.
Yeah.
But this could work.
Well, Pastor Deborah Morton wrote a book, I'm Married to Two People or something like that years ago. She was talking about, my husband has two wives. Mm-hmm. The church and her. That's what he's talking about. My work. I finally, after my last relationship, come to terms with that the person would have to put up with all this. I'm not willing to bend. And that's selfish, I know. So maybe I won't find anybody that's willing to do that. They would have to be successful also. But to answer your question, to live in separate homes, I would consider that.
Clearly, it's not your problem traveling to go see her. As much traveling as you do.
That wouldn't be that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, but I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback off of this, but I could.
Hey, listen. They can say what they want to say. I asked the question. You are who you are. You don't give up.
I don't at this point.
Yep. Cool, dope. I understand. I hear you.
So yeah, I could do it.
Now, last thing. Please tell us. I see what you got on. Go with God.
All mine.
Yes, I was talking about the tattoo earlier. What you got coming? What's out? How can we support Greg Davis?
So my website is gregdavisshow.com, gregdavisshow.com. I have a new book, brand new book. Before the right one comes, the dating playbook, 180 pages of teaching you how to have boundaries, teaching you why men want some women and don't want the others. It's the playbook. I give scenarios. I give BGD points, which is Bishop Greg Davis points. Go get it. Go to my website and get it. All right. Amazon take a lot of your money.
They take a lot of your money.
GregDavisShow.com. GregDavisShow.com. Also, shop Go With God. If you want to go with God, paraphernalia, hoodies, T-shirts, the whole set. shop Go With God, and just follow me and just see what I got going on.
Well, I know we're gonna put up all your social media stuff. Man, thank
At Bishop Greg Davis, everything at Bishop Greg Davis.
Again, thank you for today.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Keep going, man. Don't you? I'm counting on you.
Don't worry about it.
Invite me to the 100th show.
We'll be there soon.
100th show.
We will be there soon. I see you in a year and a half.
Yes, sir. It ain't gonna take that long. You think it's gonna take that long? It's gonna be a demand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.